evening, and I just wanted to address a couple of issues. This entire thing with QAnon is a Trojan horse against the MAGA and against President Trump and against basically constitutional republican conservative people are about. Despite it, well, let me cut to the chase here. You know, states under we talked about that, something that is not supposed to be part of our constitutional republic and our way of doing business. Hopefully you can hear me, right? I hope so. Well, anyway, let me pull it a little closer. I know it gets distorted up close, but I want you to hear this. So I'm very concerned about what I'm seeing, and I've noticed this for a long time, but I want to emphasize it. First of all, I want you to go see Isaac Green's last two videos that he put up he's on YouTube. Isaac Green, he just put them up the last 2 minutes. Also, 0 Hour 1, some of the ones that he's been putting up on what's been happening today, because QAnon got hacked pretty hard. Not hacked, basically somebody took over their board. But anyway, which if it was a government operation or supported by a government operation, it wouldn't have happened that easily. It just proves that this isn't supported by Trump nor by the good guys, okay? Also, Isaac Green uploaded and Unirock replayed a video of Trump in his Trump Tower in D.C. Back when they were doing, Tracy Beans and them were doing that march, that demonstration down there in support of Trump, which was very admirable, I must say. But you'll hear her, she says it's now her friend that's saying it, but regardless, it was them saying, "We are Q," as Trump comes down the stairs. And Trump basically ignored them. He just said, "Well, thank you to everybody," and really paid attention to a coal miner that was there. Very important. And that happened back in February or March timeframe, probably March, maybe April, somewhere in there. But the purpose of this video on top of that is this preventative defense. You know, Q has come out and has said, you know, that disinformation is necessary. Well, basically what that is, it's a preventative defensive measure so that you can cover your lies that got uncovered, or, you know, whatever. In other words, to make a plausible deniability for when you just mess up or it's obvious that you're not really honest, okay? I wanted to bring that up, and this is just going to be a quick video. And the other one, which is very important, and I think it's absolutely necessary that we look at this, is that they're saying that attacks will intensify. Attacks will intensify. Well, pamphlet and all of you, you know, that's a real interesting way to have a preventative defense, because you knew that as this thing was going to go along, that people were going to start uncovering your lies and your deceits and your propaganda and who you really work with and for, not just for yourselves. All right? They're working for themselves, but at the behest of some very bad characters on the leftist Marxist side. And I'll just leave it at that. Of course, I'm pointing out HRC, as I have before, Hussein Obama, Media Matters, David Brock, etc. But to say that attacks are going to intensify, that's not a prophecy, you know, that they're making, or a prediction based upon, you know, that they're such good guys that they're going to have bad guys come after them. No, they knew that people like myself, Isaac Green, Unirock, Lee Stranahan, Will Chamberlain, Sean Spicer, Sarah Sanders, Parscale, who is Trump's 2020 campaign advisor, Jacob Wohl, and the list keeps growing, Jack Posobiec, etc. We're going to come out and show the fraud that this Q thing really is, and how it's designed to actually inflict harm on MAGA and on Trump. So they use these two preventative defensive measures to try to counter what they saw that was going to come. First, like I said, you know, it's real important to understand that when they say that something is being said by them that is deliberate disinformation, that disinformation is necessary, it's to cover their lies and their mistakes. And that the second, when they say that attacks will intensify, of course, because people will slowly wake up, some of us quicker than others, to the fraud that they're involved in. Even the IC, the good part of the IC might start giving them some difficulty, but they've been supported to some extent by the rogue side of the IC so far. Some of that's going to come out eventually, not right now. Okay, I just wanted to cover those two things. I know we keep harping on this, but it's because this is a critical time that we basically, as 0 hour 1 said, fire at will. Okay, we have to obtain the initiative, seize it, and keep it if we can, to show the fraud that this entire thing has been. And for those of us who started off trying to support this thing, at least looking at it as a source of information, for us to come out and say, hey, no, there's a problem here, that should tell you something. And that means that we were in it. We can talk with some knowledge about what's going on here. We're not newbies at that. And there's probably a couple of other things that I ought to mention, but I think that's probably enough for now. They're making a lot of accusations, of course, number one, which I talked about on my video today and the other day about this, pro-Q equals anti-pedo, anti-Q means pro-pedo, which is total nonsense and very venomous, okay? Number one. Number two, that the NDAA supplied people on the alternative media $160 million to do these disinformation campaigns. As it's looking right now, I don't have the absolute proof of that, but if Q and all of those other people that support Q, and I'd love to name all of them, one works for the NRO, if you know who that is, at least she states she does, which should be an indication that there's a problem. We're understanding at this point that money may not have in fact been funded. And so those accusations are, if that's true, would be manifestly false right out the gate. So we're checking on that to see what happens. I was actually going to wait until next week to talk about this, but I think now is the time. Preventative defense is what Q is up to and has been for a long time, because they knew that they would be exposed eventually. So I just thought I'd let you know, hey, have a great night. Also, yeah, I am in a bar, as a matter of fact. Concerts across the street, I do those quite frequently. I love music. I used to play in a band, as most of you know, several times actually over the years, and I just enjoy it. So I come here to get ready for it, so I miss all the traffic. Okay? All right, I got to go. Consider what I've talked about today. Go see Isaac Green, his last two videos, 0 Hour 1. Last few as well, and of course always Uni Rock. Okay, all right, appreciate you guys. Out for now.